We got our first lead. I get so excited when one of my rank and rent websites that I build for myself gets its first lead. This one is in the fencing space, fencing contractors. I built it out I'd say about a year ago, and I left it to marinate. So I built a lot of websites for myself for rank and rent purposes. We flip these websites. We push the leads to client campaigns. I also love just testing the waters and seeing what it would cost and what it would take to rank in that space. And so I still build hundreds of these domains where we build out the main service pages, we load up a whole bunch of blogs, we send some initial backlinks, and then it's in this marination stage. It could be a couple of years really, but we'll leave them there, we upkeep them there, we update them, we add additional blogs and things like that to them. And we keep an eye on the rankings. And look, out of so many of these sites, not all of them rank. They all will get traffic unless there's some historic issues with the domain and it was used in some weird of a unethical way or something like that, but it's rare that happens. But if you build 1,000 sites and you just let them marinate, you're gonna have a percentage of them that will pop up, and it only needs a couple of sites to really make bank. So this first inquiry was a color bond fence for I think 20 or 30 meters or something. It sounds like about maybe a 3 or 4K job, and I quickly sent out that message to 5 or 6 businesses that supply that service in that area. So the inquiry came from a certain suburb in Melbourne, and I quickly hit up Google and I had a look who were the businesses there. One that didn't have a website, so I looked at the Google listings that didn't have an office location and didn't have a website and had low reviews. Means the business is starting up, or the business is really old and they haven't embraced marketing and they definitely don't need these leads. And so I sent the same message to a few of them. Instantly, one came back, a few others came back to me, and I said, hey, I've got this lead, jump on it. I'll push more leads your way. Let's update the website with your contact details, and these leads are yours. While the site's marinating, there probably won't be too many of these leads, but let them be yours. Hopefully they bring you business, hopefully they help you succeed, and from there we can build a relationship. I've got so many of these sites, but it's so exciting when the first genuine lead that's non-spam, no one's trying to sell you something online, inbound marketing services and all the leads that come with that. It's a really, really good feeling. It also helps to test some of the newer tactics that I've been using, rolling out some new stuff in internal linking, more of the old stuff, which is directory listicles, a lot of blogs, obviously, a lot of backlinks. Backlinks just cost a lot of money, so it's a hard one to keep at on a site that's not bringing any revenue. But I've got so many of my sites that I use to power up these domains. You name the space that I don't have a website. I've got a pressure washing one that's just started to get some inquiries. Same thing. It was an inquiry that came from actually these areas in Bayside, and I quickly called around a few pressure washer providers. Found a dude named Luke. Felt like he really needed the business, and he gets I think 1 or 2 inquiries every few weeks. It's not a deal breaker. It's not something that I like when he starts to get some more inquiries, then we can talk some business and see how we can make it work. And then from there, I can potentially rank his website, rebuild his website, get some leads to his domain while pushing the leads that I'm getting to his campaign. So the next step for this particular website is putting the client's details on the site, making all the inquiry forms, take the lead straight to them, just making things a little bit prettier. It's got full-on SEO text, so trimming things down, making the text a bit more accurate, putting on the client's reviews, so embedding the Google business reviews onto the site, giving them a slider, putting on the Google reviews badge on the site, really just beginning to sculpt and beginning the SEO process, having a look at which pages are ranking maybe on page 2 or 3 of Google, adding a bit of juice their way, sending a few backlinks their way, potentially expanding the services. When we build these websites, we do a quick skim over the kind of services that someone in this industry has. This particular site I built a site for a client, so I already knew what service pages a fencing contractor should have, and then I built a site for myself using similar pages, similar service offerings, but then I just simply added my own things like color bond fencing, wooden fencing, timber fencing, aluminium fencing, you name all the different fencing styles. And so with this particular site, we put all of the services on, and so we might find that they don't do a certain service, so we might remove the inquiry form from that site, from that page, essentially creating a lead gen property that will push more leads to them. And hopefully, if we want to take things a bit serious, the client might say, hey, what do we do to get more leads out of this website ASAP? That's a no-brainer. We get a landing page up, a Google Ads set up, target the exact keyword. It might be color bond fence. It might be fencing contractor, fencing services, pulling down an old fence or something like that. A Google ad is a no-brainer to get leads within hopefully a few weeks. From what I'm seeing in that space, it's not as competitive as something like plumbers or electricians or lawyers. So it's definitely realistic Google Ads figures. And then alongside that, potentially building the client their own site or rebuilding their own rubbish website. I'm seeing a lot of startup businesses using like free Wix websites or free Google sites, and it's really good for a startup business to just get something out there and have a business card to flick around. But that's definitely not going to get you results in terms of showing up higher than somebody else and actually progressing through the Google ranks. If you want to know what I do and how I do it, hit me up. Chat soon.